Welcome back to AskAPop. Today we're talking about Lost and Found. I kind of got a different one for you today, because back when I was a wee lad of 15, my papa took me to Kmart. It was one day to pick up, well, honestly, I can't even remember what it was, but being Kmart, it was to pick up just about anything, because back then they sold just about anything. But what always made it special was he and I would always go to Kmart, usually to pick up stuff that we would be working on a project together for. But what made this trip extra special was a quarter. Because you see, as we were headed out of the store, I noticed a shiny quarter in the parking lot. I bent down to pick it up, and as I did, he noticed it. He noticed me doing that, and as I'm putting it in my pocket and smiling, I said, "Score." He asked me what I'd done, and I was telling him that I found a quarter. He said, "Is it yours?" And I said, "Well, I found it. Finders keepers." And he looked at me again with that smile that he always had, and he said, "Honey, is it yours?" And I thought about it for a second. Now, he never did tell me anything to do. He didn't tell me what he expected. But as he asked that second time, I knew what we needed to do. So we turned back together, and he walked with me, and we walked back into the store to a very confused customer service agent. We handed him the quarter and told him the story, and like I said, they were very confused. But as we walked out of the store, he told me how proud of me he was, and he explained what integrity was, and asked me, I told him it was a quarter, and he said, "Well, buddy, is that what your integrity was worth?" And I stopped and thought about it. "No, worth a lot more than that." He said, "Well, just think about that every time that you have a choice." That was a really good lesson for a quarter. Anyway, the Bible stories today are about Lost and Found. And the second Bible story today in particular, every time that I'd read it in the past was always talking about the wayward son. I always thought about the wayward son, but the closer that I got to Jesus, the more he revealed to me that it's also teaching the other son, the one that never did stray. And it is about him and learning about grace and welcoming the wayward son home. Anyway, just something that I thought I'd share with you guys today. Just thought from a guy that didn't ever get that quarter, but got a whole lot more in return. The Bible verses today is Luke 15, the whole chapter.